I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. I'm your man, host of the Knicks Morning Drive and the Knicks at Night podcast, Uncle Freezy. It's good to see y'all out here. What's good? What's good? It's good to see y'all. Seems like I just left. You know what? Maybe I did. LOL. What's good? So we got Oklahoma City on the schedule today, right? So we got some Oklahoma City Thunder on the schedule today. And I think they have some absences. I think they have some people out today. And I think we may have some people out today, right? But I want to start with this thing I heard, or I saw Tom Thibodeau say, or Tom Thibodeau quote. I'm going to pull it up on, let me see if I can find it on the Twitter. Let me see. I think I have it somewhere. Oh, man, really? They have Spike Lee with Max Kellerman and Stephen A. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. So as soon as I go to Twitter, I see Spike Lee behind up here talking about this. Come on, Spike Lee, stop being a tramp to the media, man. Come on, step your game up, Spike Lee. That's ridiculous, man. I didn't even jump on for that. I jumped on because I wanted to find the quote from Tom Thibodeau, and the first thing I see is some doggone Spike Lee about MSG disrespecting. Man, that's tired, Spike Lee, man. Come on. Spike Lee, come on, Spike Lee. Jeez, man, for the love of Mike, do something with your life. Do you have to answer the call from ESPN? What's up, peoples? What's up, Dominic? I see you. Wacko Knicks Fanatic was good. King Jerry was good. Pudge Nice was happening. Brian Williford was good. Good to see you back, Brian Williford. Professional Outfit was good. For the love of Mike, Spike Lee, really? Do you have to answer the call for ESPN every time they call? Y'all think that, man, they think that's cute. That's not cute, Spike Lee. That's not cute, Spike Lee. Every time we turn around, we see a Knicks hater just showing themselves every opportunity they get. I mean, it's corny, Spike Lee. Come on. Spike Lee, stop being a media tramp. Come on, man. Every time something happened at MSG, Spike Lee is on ESPN. Really? You need that much attention, Spike Lee? Really? City for real. What's good? Harlem Girl, what's good? What's good? What's good? Man, I'm excited to see y'all, man. I'm sorry about this thing about Spike Lee, this whole thing. I'm looking forward to the Knicks playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. And every time I turn around, somebody is trying to kill the mojo of the Knicks. And it's not even other NBA teams. It's supposed Knicks fans trying to kill the mojo of the Knicks. Every time we turn around, they got something bad to say about the Knicks. And it's Knicks fans. Man, it's ridiculous. Spike Lee somewhere in some big fancy building with a whole bunch of rooms with people waiting on him hand and foot out here talking about common folks' problems. You ain't no common folks, Spike Lee. Get your ass out of here. Oh, Spike Lee, how about this? How about this, Spike Lee? Do the right thing. Damn it. Every time I turn around, somebody got something to say about the Knicks. Off the court. It's off the court stuff. They got something to say about the Knicks. And then as soon as something bad happens on the court, they'll be like, see, I told you. I told you the Knicks wasn't really that good. Come on, Spike Lee. Do the right thing. Come on, Spike Lee. You supposed to be one of us, but you sure as hell don't act like it. Got me hot. All I want to do was bring up the Tom Thibodeau quote on Twitter about all point guards are not made the same. Point guards are different. But as soon as we get here, as soon as I try to, hey Dom, how you doing, man? Hey, I can't hear you, bro. Hey, so shout out to Marion Davis, right? Hey, hey Dom, can you hear me? Test it one more time. I'm gonna pull Dom down right quick. What'd you say? I still can't hear you, bro. I still can't hear you, Dom. Hold on, I'm gonna pull you down. I'm gonna pull you down real quick until you ready, and then I'll pull you right back up. Okay. Shout out to Dom. Hey, the young Knicks fans, the young Mets fans are loyal, bro. They loyal, and I'm sorry about getting on this rant about Spike Lee. Not Zay was good. Hey, Marion Davis was good. Jamie Peralta, it was good. Point five was good. I see y'all, man. I'm sorry about this, but all I wanted to do was pull up the quote by Tom Thibodeau. That's all I wanted to do, man. Pull up the Tom Thibodeau quote, right? And as soon as I jump on social media, I see Spike Lee sitting his rump up with ESPN bashing the Knicks. Hey Dom, you good? No, probably not. Hey, salute. So all I want to do is pull up the quote by Tom Thibodeau about point guards, right? That's all I wanted to do. Just pull up the quote by Tom Thibodeau, right? That's all I wanted to do, man, as a Knicks fan. All I want is some peace for a little while. But you know what? We can't get it. You know why we can't get it? You know why? Because every time, it's the reason why cats like myself do this, right? It's the reason why cats like myself do this, right? It's because Every time I turn around, media giants like ESPN and doofuses like Spike Lee got something bad to say about the Knicks. Hey, there we go. I can hear something.
Hey. Oh,
Good
there we
morning, man.
go. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's
Now it
perfect, man.
works.
Hey, you sound great, man.
Hey, man. How you doing, Uncle Freezy?
Hey, man, I was great, man. I took my mom and my wife out to breakfast this morning, and I'm running a little bit late because my sister is coming in town from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh,
Right. So
nice.
so so we had a early morning, and so I took the missus out, man, and breakfast was great. The we had the eggs and your other pancakes were on
Yeah.
deck. That was dope.
Nice.
And we had good conversation, had some laughs, and a few things, and 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 no shade, but none of the kids were around. So it's like, and when I say kids, I'm talking about none of the 20 somethings were around, like on their phones complaining about stuff. Like, why is everybody not catering to me? So it was none of that. It was legit. We were in our own little stitching time
Yeah,
with no
man.
rush, no rush. Oh, we basically just talked about how the birds were singing outside for the first time in a long time, and how the weather was balmy and not cold for the first time in a long time. And so we just legit had a great conversation over breakfast. Wasn't in a place that wasn't crowded, wasn't a lot of people. So the wait staff basically focused on us. Um, so the morning started off good, and then I come home and I take a quick nap, maybe like an hour. Right, I turned on Ron Cleveland's replay from um, yesterday and was listening to Ron Cleveland, who's my guy. Ron Cleveland, that's my guy, that's my brother.
Yeah, man. It's the Knicks.
Right. Ron Cleveland is legit my little brother. You know what I'm saying? I love that dude. Ron Cleveland
Yeah,
is
I was
like
there
a
on
little
that
brother.
stream too.
Yeah, I noticed. I
And I
noticed.
did that J Boogie.
Yeah, I saw it. I heard it. Actually, I heard it live first yesterday. I actually heard it live, but I didn't get to watch the entire live stream because I was listening to it in the car.
Oh.
Right. And then yesterday, while it was live, that's the reason why I didn't jump on. I listened to it live in the car yesterday, but I didn't get to finish it. So this morning, while I was, trying to prepare for my nap, I put Ron on and listened to, the rest of it. I dozed off for a little bit, man, but I mean, the Knicks at Night podcast didn't end until 4 a.m. So it was like 4 a.m. in the Knicks at Night podcast. And this is for me, and I don't advise this. I'm just saying this is what the schedule looked like.
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
so it ended around 4 a.m. Hoodie Kev got mad and stormed out. He's like, man, you make me sick, man. Y'all always talk about and then he left. He left, right? He left. And then so I ended with them. Went into the room. My dog. I thought I was going to be able to take like a 2-hour nap or something in between that time and breakfast. But my dog, who's a stray, we took him in. Well, he's not a stray, but he was an abused dog, so we took him in, right? So we took him in, and so we've had him for like 4 years now, right? And
Oh, nice.
at first he was skittish, like an abused dog, they have like real, like they're real sensitive and real nervy, like they don't understand what love is because and you can't really do like quick actions like anything sudden makes them nervous because their nerves have been ruined by the previous owner. So we loved on them and fed them, got them fat, and now you can't even recognize him. Like from the time that we brought him in to now, he looks like
Yeah, man.
he looks like a retired ball player. You remember you know how the coaches come out of the dugout with a pot belly or whatever. That's Gaston. That's
Yeah, by the
Gaston
way,
now.
salute to my man Uncle Freezy and the live stream chat.
Yeah, man. Hey,
And also salute to my man Ron Cleveland, aka Man is the Knicks. He's been doing a great job. Hopefully he keeps up with his good streams that he's been having. recently.
Man, hey man, no, salute to Dominic, man. You can handle yourself on these live streams. These live streams are not necessarily easy to navigate, especially when people are so opinionated and long-winded. Some people are
Yeah, man.
long-winded, bro. You know. Yeah, I'm sorry y'all about the tirade about Spike Lee. It just caught me off guard. And listen, I'm not one of those that's gonna be like fake emotion, Knicks for clicks, and all of that. I'm a I'm a real life person.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'm
All
a
good.
real life person, and so I anchor I anchor my Knicks fandom and stuff and real stuff that I see. I'm not a clinical Knicks fan. I'm like one of the Knicks fans that you go to the game when we're down by 8. I'm like, oh, such and such is a bum. Yeah, that's me. I'm in that crowd. I'm in that crowd. I go to the Mets game and a reliever gives up a 2-run homer. I'm like, oh, get rid of him. He's a bum. That's me. I can't help it, man. I'm a real life person, man. So I mean, yeah, man. So are you excited about today's game?
Yeah, man. I feel kind of nervous about it. I mean, we were just playing like lack of defense in that previous game against the Bucks, in my opinion. But I think we can pull out a W over the Thunder tonight.
Well, we play in like 3 hours or 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out because this seems like the trap game to me. So we go to Milwaukee and get blistered.
Yeah.
And to me, it wasn't the player's fault. It was the coach's fault schematically, right? Like we legit came out. We were like, Giannis likes to drive, so we're going to protect the paint and recover to 3-point shooters. And Giannis wound up having a triple double, and two guys, Bryn Forbes and DJ Augustine, I think, go 10 for 10 from the 3-point line. That's no team in the NBA. No team in the NBA is going to be able to stop Giannis if he's got a triple double, and his supporting cast is going to shoot the 3-pointer or make 3-pointers at that clip. Nobody's going to be able to defend that. I don't care who you are.
Man, we just got destroyed over the Bucks, 134-101.
Right.
Yeah, we lost by 33. That was definitely the coach's fault in that game, I will say.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's you choose to pick your poison, and so we picked our poison, and we just got to live with the consequences, man.
Yeah, man.
It's one of those things. If you choose to stop Giannis and let his surrounding cast beat you, and they beat you, oh well. There's nothing you can do about that because you can't have both. You can't have his supporting cast getting off and Giannis getting off going into the game. Your strategy can't be let his supporting cast do whatever it is and let Giannis do whatever it is. We chose to try to stop Giannis, and his supporting cast killed us. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, and definitely Uncle Freezy.
Yeah. And then the Bucks chose to stop Julius Randle, but I think I call it like the zombie double team, where the double team doesn't come immediately, but they just take a big guy to walk towards Randle with his hands up to try to stop him from passing or whatever. And so when you have stuff like that happening, and nobody else on the team can step up and make themselves a legit threat, then you're just gonna have to live with the results. It's just a loss. No matter how bad the loss was. I think we lost by 1,000,000 points, but it only counts as one loss in the loss column. So
yeah, true. We have a question from Frank Batos. He says, "What are we going to do with our 15 million or so in cap space?" We will definitely make at least one trade. That's a really good question.
So what do you think?
I think I think what we're gonna do with our 15 million or so in cap space, I think we should definitely make at least like 1 or 2 trades. I mean, the trade deadline is what, like 12 days away?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, at least 12 days away. Less than 2 weeks, man. I'm feeling kind of nervous about the trade deadline. I mean, I think the Knicks will like get, I don't know, like imagine if they got LeBron James from the Lakers, man.
That right there would set the sports world on its ear.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we would get either Westbrook or LeBron James. One of those two, I think.
Well, I'll tell you what I would think, and that right there sounds like. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. In order to pull one of those off, we would severely have to alter the makeup of our team.
Who?
Right. If we were to even either go after a LeBron or go after a Westbrook, I think you'll have to change the roster as we know it would not be the same because of the stuff that would be going out to get that player. What I will say though is maybe we can do minor stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So instead of looking at something major, we could do something minor, right? Like for instance, give you an example. So we need, say for instance, we need more room in our house. We just need more square footage, right?
Yeah.
We could either buy a new house, sell the old house, and buy a new house with the revenue that we got from it, or just make an addition to the house. And I'm in a mindset that I would just make an addition to the house right now. And the reason why I say that is because there are cheaper options out there than trading for a superstar. I would legit look at maybe bringing back a Kadeem Allen, and not as a starter, but to help us navigate, this rough stretch with point guards being out, with Elfrid Payton being out with a hurt hamstring, with Derrick Rose being out because of the COVID protocols and such.
Yes. And
Right.
Mitch Robinson, don't forget about him.
Right, and so I was gonna say, I know Mitch is out, right? So I would say bring in a bouncy young center, somebody beefy, right? Not a Nerlens Noel type center, not a dude that's 210 pounds, but maybe somebody like 250. Bring in a beefy guy, bring in some beef for the playoffs, and I would even consider bringing in 2 guys like that. You know what I'm saying, to help us navigate this rough stretch that's on the schedule. And so while saying that, what I generally do is not just make suggestions, but go by. Let me see if I can find somebody. Let me see if I can find a free agent right now.
Actually, I think we need to get a center. We need a center.
Really? Oh, okay. So what name do you have? Do you have any names?
Andre Drummond is the only one I got. Pretty much.
Is Andre Drummond expensive?
I'm not sure if he's that expensive, but to get as a center for our team.
How about Mo Bamba?
Mobama?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. That may be.
Not as a centerpiece, of course. Not as a centerpiece, right? But somebody that could add to the center depth. What about a Steven Adams?
Ooh, now that would be interesting. He would be balling if we got him.
Right.
Just like my man J.R. Julius Randle.
Right. I'm searching here on the web to see if I can find some free agent centers that we could probably get that'll be cheap, that'll supplement what we already have. And the reason why I'm looking, how about Pau Gasol? Pau Gasol is a free agent.
Oh yes. What position does he play?
He is a center / power forward.
Yeah, and according to S. Brooklyn in the chat, says we need a small forward in the worst way.
Wow. Wow.
I
So
honestly agree.
so okay. So we mentioned point guard, we mentioned center, and we mentioned small forward. Now, dude. So with all of that said, are we looking at potentially making some wholesale changes to the roster and the bench, or are we just looking to make one or two moves and then prioritizing which move we would look to make?
Um, I would have to say, make one or two moves in the type of situation that we're in as the trade deadline gets closer and closer each day, I think.
Right, right. Um, I would say, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I would look at maybe bringing in a Jordan Bell, a Kyle O'Quinn, somebody like that. Maybe a Thon Maker, a center that can shoot threes. Um, there aren't many. There aren't many options out here. The pickings are legit slim. Tyson Chandler is out here. Uh, Tyler Zeller is out here. Nene is out here. Dwayne Dedman is out here. I like Dwayne Dedman also.
How about
Um,
Lonzo Ball?
at point guard. Okay. So let's do it. Let's have the Lonzo Ball conversation. Right? So shout out
Yeah.
to Chop Low. Chop Low, what's good? 19 comment NYC 84. What's good? What's good? We see y'all. Hey y'all, hey, put in the chat, in the put what you anticipate the Knicks doing in the chat, right? What do y'all anticipate us doing in the chat? Like my man Dominic says, the trade deadline is literally right around the corner. Right?
Yeah, 12 days away until the
Right.
trade deadline.
And it's not our trade line, it's the NBA's trade deadline. So
Yes.
there are going to be a lot of teams in a trade market. So we're going to be in competition with guys to bring guys in, right? So what do we do? What do we do? What's the most important thing? So let's have the Lonzo Ball conversation. Since Dominic brought him up, let's do it.
Wait, who did I bring up?
Lonzo Ball.
Yes, Lonzo Ball. Let's talk about Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball. So I am neutral on Lonzo Ball. I'm neutral, right? So basically, if we get Lonzo Ball, I'll be okay with it. If we don't get Lonzo Ball, I'm not gonna be upset that we didn't make the move to get Lonzo. What I would suggest is this: if we trade for Lonzo, right? Let's not give up. Let's not go crazy with the shopping. Just because we have assets, let's not overspend for Lonzo, right? Like let's not do Obi and RJ Barrett for Lonzo Ball. No, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Let's spend wisely when it comes to acquiring talent, bringing in talent, and then also let's look at the coach. So if we have to draft a point guard, trade for a point guard, and then trade for another point guard all in the same season, is it a point guard issue or is it a coach issue? Right?
Coach issue.
Yeah. Because if we legit have to draft Emmanuel quickly, trade for Derrick Rose, and trade for Lonzo Ball, what is our coach actually doing with our point guards then?
I don't know. That's a really good question. Hey, people in the chat, what do you think about Uncle Freezy's question? Let us know in the chat below.
Yeah, great job, man. Because I was just about to say the same thing. We must be kindred spirits. We must be like, yeah, we must be related, like way down the line. We must be related.
Man.
Right. Or maybe it's like the Knicks family relation. That's probably what it is. More like maybe it's the Knicks family relation. So
Yeah, I gotta get myself some of that Man Menace the Knicks merch. Like get a Man hat or a shirt.
yeah, hey, so Ron Cleveland has been saying that, like so. For instance, give you an example. Before, so Ron Cleveland was a part of the Knicks universe before I was, right. I didn't know that there was a Knicks universe out here that existed. So back in the day when Nothing But Knicks had like 1,200 subscribers, and Knicks Fan TV had like 1,500 subscribers, I jumped on and I was like, wow, these people, they have 1,200 subscribers. And I would hear, they would like, CP from Knicks Fan TV would be like, yo, I got my man Ron Cleveland on the phone. Ron, what you got? And Ron would come on and be like, man. And the chat would go bonkers, right? The chat would go
Yeah.
bonkers, right? And so Ron would be like, yeah, man, we need to get rid of Joe Kim Noah. Courtney Lee ain't the move. If we draft this kid Frank Ntilikina, then at least we'll have a point guard that plays defense or something crazy. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly what he said, right? And I don't want to like put my narrative on him, but I'm using those storylines as an example, right? And the chat will go crazy, right?
Yeah, let's just go bonkers.
Yeah, you would see like people would start throwing their hats in the air, and people would start just shaking their drinks on top of people and all kind of stuff because it was Ron, right? Because most calls before Ron Cleveland were like legit, no cap. Most calls were like, thank you for having me. They say, yo, I have on the line Uncle Freezy from Jersey City. So what you got, Uncle Freezy? Hey, I'm a first time caller, long time listener. I love John Starks. Let's go Knicks. Love the show.
Hey man, I'm gonna
let's
hop back on. I'll be right back.
Okay. And so it would be like those traditional calls, right? And then Ron would come on. He was none of that. Ron Cleveland would come on. He wouldn't be none of that. Ron Cleveland would be like, man. And you like, yo, it's Ron Cleveland. And people thought he was from Cleveland at first. When I heard him, I knew he wasn't from Cleveland, right? I knew he wasn't from Cleveland. I figured he was from down south. I figured he, was from down here where I live at now. And Ron would jump on. And again, this is no shade to Ron. This is love, right? This is love, all 100% love. Ron would come on and he'd say something, and people would go bonkers, man. Right? And then then all of us, this one time, I guess we are blessed to legit cross paths because I was more like the silent assassin with stuff. I would point out just regular stuff that people will overlook. I would say something like I'd get on the Nothing But Knicks live stream with Sim Russell. And shout out to Sim Russell. He'll be on the Knicks at Night podcast tonight with your man later on tonight. But I would say stuff like, yo, y'all are not tired of shopping for a star? You're not ready. You're not just legit ready to draft your own superstar. How about we draft our own superstar? How about we tank for RJ Barrett? I legit said that 4 years ago on Nothing But Knicks. That was me. I'm the guy. I said that. I got killed in the chat, by the way, for saying that. I got killed in it. I said, let's tank for RJ Barrett, right? I said that 4 years ago. RJ Barrett hadn't played one whistle at Duke, right? RJ Barrett didn't play one snap at Duke, right? He had just committed. His last two schools were Kentucky and Duke. He commits to Duke, right? Before that, I say, hey, Sam, how about we just tank to get RJ Barrett? And I was that guy, right? I was that guy. Every time I come on, people would laugh like, oh man, Big Freezy said, and back then I was Big Freezy because I hadn't gone through the weight loss transformation yet. I was still, the dude that was always in a cubicle doing customer service, just putting on weight every year after year. I'm the cubicle guy, customer service, calling people, hey, blah blah blah. Let me help you do your. So I was still that guy, right? So anyway, I was that guy that also said stuff like, did you know that John Starks, since you've been alive, John Starks is the only guy that had a shot in the air to win a championship? And people were like, man, I hate Starks. And I'm like, dog, Starks wasn't the reason why you lost the championship. Teams lose championships, not just one player. And so I was that guy. I used to get ridiculed a lot on Nothing But Knicks. But as time went on, people like legit started coming around to me. Like, hey, where's the crazy dude at? Where's that dude that always say all the crazy stuff? And so what happens is me and John Starks. So what I have a man crush on John Starks. Not in that way, not in that kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Because John Starks to see me and he's like, yo, that dude Uncle Freezy's a specimen. Been in the weight room, working out a little bit, trying to do a little something. But anyway, I have a crush on John Starks because of what he achieved, like where he came from and what he achieved, right? I like that. I like when people get the most out of the least, right? I like when a person is given a lemon, and they make a lemonade company. I'm that that person. I love and respect that. When somebody is when you give somebody a lemon, right? When somebody's given a lemon, they take the seeds out of the lemon and plant them and grow lemon trees, right? They take the juice out of the lemon and make a formula, and then a recipe, and then they take all that stuff and grow their thing into something bigger. I like that. That's what John Starks is to me, in my opinion. The guy that took the least and made the most out of it, right? So anyway, I run cross paths with Ron Cleveland, and he mentioned point guard play. This is like how many years Frank been in the league? 4 years. This is Frank's 4th year. So this is more than 4 years ago. This is more whenever Sim first started. Back when Sim Russell used to look so nervous on the screen by himself. Sim used to be like, man, I hope all this stuff is working. The look on his face, right? But he was getting it. He was doing it, man. Sim was doing it. And shout out to Sim, by the way. But anyway, me and Ron Cleveland crossed paths, and we were like kindred spirits. There used to be a screen, right? So the screen would have, I think it would be King Ant G, Guillermo. Back then, he wasn't Legion of the Knicks podcast. He was Guillermo back then. So it'd be me, Guillermo, Ron Cleveland, this dude who's Mark, a bunch of people that would be on, and they would be literally going at each other, and I would be quiet, and Ron would be quiet too, right? And then every once in a while, when there's a dead spot, I jump in and say something crazy like, "We need to tank for RJ Barrett," and then the crowd would erupt again, and then they talk for like 45 straight minutes at high speed, right? And me and Ron would look at each other like, and then there'd be a pause, and Ron would say something like, "Point guard is not the main issue," and then they go crazy over what Ron Cleveland said, and so me and Ron kind of like had this weird thing, like a chemistry like thing, right? Hey, so shout out to Marion Davis for the super chat. What Nick did you play in your game to when you played? Oh, don't get me started, Marion Davis. Don't get me started. You want it's already story time with Uncle Freezy right now. Do you really want me to tell us? Okay, since y'all asked. So when I was a shorty, it was like a strange time in our country, right? Our uncles and everybody, our uncles and fathers and relatives and everybody were coming back from Vietnam, right? And these dudes, to me, these dudes were like old, grizzled, street dudes, coming back from Vietnam. So I was like 6 or 7 years old, and these dudes were so old. I thought they would just fall over and die of old age at any moment, right? Because these dudes were like 23, 24 years old. When you six and you see somebody 23, they look like an old man, right? So these cats were coming back from Vietnam, and it was like a weird era, right? So they forced their music and their stylings, and all that stuff on cats my age, right? I'm like 6 or 7, but I'm in aware 6 or 7. Like I'm alert, more alert than I should be. I should have been watching Sesame Street, but I was actually watching the streets, right? And I shouldn't have been, but it is what it is, right? I don't regret any of it. I think it made me a better person, right? So they would legit be arguing over who was the better point guard, Earl the Pearl Monroe or Walt Clyde Frazier. Think about what I just said to y'all. They would argue who is better, the point guard of the Baltimore Bullets, Earl the Pearl Monroe, or the point guard of the New York Knicks, Walt Clyde Frazier. Well, I'm a Knicks fan then. You know what I'm saying? I live and die Knicks. And this era was not the era that we live in now, the fact check era where you can Google everything and find out if things are factually accurate or not. Back then, everything was legend and law, right? Right. So back then, the people could tell you stories like, man, Earl of Pearl played in a 1-on-5 by himself. White Falcon, what's good? Thank you for the super chat. Trade Austin, Burt, Bullock, Randall, Noel for D'Lo and Cat. So back then, back in the day, everything was legend, right? Because you legit had to wait to either 11 o'clock at night to get 3 minutes of sports, and they covered the whole sports world, or you can get the Daily News or the New York Post the next day, or the Newark Star Ledger, right? So our paper of choice was the Daily News, right? So everything I read in the newspaper, and so as a sixth grader, man, I could read, boy. I mean, I'm sorry, as a 6-year-old, I could read, man. I'm telling you, I would get that paper and look at that stuff and try to figure out those words, because the reason why I read well now is because back then the newspaper had stuff I was interested in. Like if I didn't find out about Walt Clyde Frazier through word of mouth or on TV, I had to legit read the paper. Think about that, man. I had to read the paper. Okay. So, so I'm reading the paper. I'm learning about this dude, Clyde Frazier, right? And then as we get, we have these arguments at school. The teacher's like, Uncle Freezy, you and Jermaine in the back need to be quiet. We're testing right now. Stop talking about sports. Stop talking about basketball and take this test. So we would race and finish the test so that we could go in the back of the classroom and talk sports while everybody else was finishing their test. Right? And he would be whispering like, man, Earl of Pearl, they said that he jumped in the air and flipped a layup over a dude that was 9 foot tall and he had an afro. And it went in the rain with the wind blowing. You know what I'm saying? So everything was legendary back then. Everything was like myth and lore and legend. You know what I'm saying? Back then, right? I mean, that's just how it was, back then, because we didn't have any proof or evidence or anything like that to say anything was not factually accurate. So I used to say stuff like Clyde Frazier could get the ball and go down the court faster than any human being possible. I heard he was faster than the horse, and he'd go to the lane and lay it up, and it would look so pretty coming down. He was so cool, what I'm saying, because of what I used to read in the paper, whatever. Right? And so back then, when we used to go outside and play ball, while everybody was trying to be um, Oscar Robertson, everybody and Dirt. Hey, when I was at Cats, used to love this dude named JoJo White. Oh, they love JoJo White. They love this dude. Oh my goodness, JoJo White, JoJo White. Right? They used to love this dude. Right? And the ABA was around, but we didn't know. We didn't, know too much about dudes name. I heard of a dude named Dr. J, but there was like no real coverage or footage of him. He was like a ghost up until like the mid to late 70s, right? So to answer that question, man, it was Walt Clyde Frazier. It was Clyde, man, because man, the dude used to have like a necklace on. He used to play ball with the necklace, and the necklace would be swinging around, and he'd be like in and out, swoop the loop, dick doo. You know what I'm saying? Going around people. And man, listen, Clyde was the best, man. Clyde Walt Frazier was the best. Now, Clyde Frazier, you were the best back then at playing basketball. But I will tell you this. If you ever need some fashion advice, come look up your man Uncle Freezy. Right? Come look up your man Uncle Freezy. And I'm saying that I'm sure the things at the restaurant are immaculate and perfect. And your game is Hall of Fame worthy, top 5 point guard of all time, top 50 NBA player of all time, no doubt. Right? But fashion, Clyde, we have to have a little talk about that. Right? Because every pattern is not meant to be made into a suit. every pattern, Clyde, every event, you don't have to make a fashion statement at every event, right? Like you legit have a suit that looks like Stephen Fox's couch, Clyde Frazier. Come on, big dog. Come to Uncle Freezy. I don't have an ego, dog. Clyde Frazier, you can call me at any time and get some fashion advice. Hey, so the game of life says Knox plays like Obi, they get lost in the field. Yep. Quattro Cinco says, since online Knicks not aggressive for the deadline. I think that means that they're not gonna trade for a first for Cat. No, they ain't trading for Colin St. Towns. Hey, so Choplo says, at point 5, rip to Mom Dukes. She loved Clyde also. And Jimmy Superfly Snooker. Yep. Anthony D in the building. Salute to Anthony D. Clyde had the burgundy and gold Rolls Royce. Yeah, Clyde, man, listen. Clyde Frazier was that dude. Clyde Frazier was that dude, man. So White Falcon says D-Lo, Frank, RJ, Obi, Cat. D-Rose quickly knocks Taj, Mitch. I don't know if I'm starting Frank. Yeah. Now, hey, listen. I'm not talking about stuff like that, right? The white fur is fly, right? And he's also got the gray and black chinchilla, which is super fly. You know what I'm saying? He's got. I've saw the white mink, and I've also seen the gray and black chinchilla, right? Both are fly, right? But what I'm saying at this afternoon's game, Clyde Frazier is going to have an outfit on that reminds us of your auntie's curtains from the 60s with a plain shirt and a tie that doesn't match. Just to make a statement. Clyde, listen, if you want some fashion advice, come holler at your mans. Come holler at your mans, Clyde. And listen, I want to thank y'all too for the welcome distraction. Y'all distracted me from Spike Lee, and I appreciate it. Right? Y'all distracted me from Spike Lee, and I appreciate that. I needed that distraction, man, because the Spike Lee thing was ridiculous. I'm not dissing Clyde, man. It's like you know how. Okay, Y'all asked for it, right? So our family, my family is, and I'm talking about the family on my pop side is not what you call functional all the way 100%. Sometimes we're not on the same page, right? Sometimes we're not on the same page, man. It's just what it is. Because we have a bunch of different personalities, and some of them are stronger than others. Don't underestimate the people with personalities that not are not as strong, right? Because they do stuff also. They'll say stuff like, "Yeah, man, I feel you. Yeah." And then as soon as you walk off, they do something. They do their own thing. They just don't want to. They don't want to get into like the arguments and stuff, right? But so one year, this was like 70. I'm sorry, this is not even 70. This is like 95, 96. We have a family function. It's like 96, right? This is like the whatever year Pat Ewing clanked that 1 foot finger roll in the playoffs to lose the things. It was that year because we were still talking about it at our little thing. So the word we telling everybody, yo, this is we gonna be like back in the day. We're gonna get back to the old school. We're gonna get back, we're gonna get back to the old school, man. We're gonna take it back to what it used to be like, right? You know, we're gonna legit, kick it. We're gonna bring back the old school vibes, right? And so my uncle, and so we out there, you know what I'm saying? We out there, call Kanad up, cross colored, FUBU, FUBU'd up. Yeah, y'all remember them styles. Y'all remember the styles from the 90s. Y'all remember that. Y'all remember the styles from the 90s, right? And so my uncle and them show up. He gets out the car with bell bottoms on, right? And I laugh. I start laughing. You know how you laugh so hard you start coughing? You know how you laugh so hard you start coughing, man? Yeah, that's me. I'm laughing. Like, what the hell do you have on? And I'm like, man, go in the house and change. He's like, nah, you said we're gonna take it back to the old school, right? Everybody, who else? I bet you I'm the flyest one here. I'm like, no, we didn't mean take it back to the old school like that. We didn't mean clothes. We was talking about fellowship and kicking it. This ain't a 70s party, bro. We just kicking it. And I'm like, oh man, well, I'm here now. And his girl gets out the car. And he used to have a different girl every year. Every year he show up, he had a different girl. Hey, Uncle Freezy, you remember Sherry, right? No, I don't remember Sherry. This is my first time meeting her. This is every year, different name. Hey, Uncle, you remember Barbara, right? No, no, I don't remember Barbara. Hey, Miss Barbara, it's nice to meet you. Every year it's a different girl, and it's the same way to this day. Uncle's like 80 something years old, and he'll walk up to me like, "Hey, Uncle Freezy, good to see you, man. You remember Teresa, right?" And I look at Teresa like, "No." Hey, Miss Teresa, it's nice to meet you, though. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Unc gets out the car. His whole family is dressed up like it's the 70s, right? And we was like, no, you misread the message. That's not what we was getting at. But anyway, anyway. Hey, so Anthony D says, don't understand estimate. One that flew over the cuckoo's nest. You sound like Clyde Huggy Bear with the fishbowl shoes from from I'm gonna get you sucker, Ella. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Now, what I'm saying is okay. Tell you what, I'm gonna take a picture of Clouds. I'm gonna take a picture of Clyde's outfit, and I'm gonna try to get a picture of Clyde's outfit today, and I'm gonna talk about it tonight on the Knicks at Night podcast. You remember that? I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yeah, man. Yeah. When my man had got out the clink, and you know what I'm saying, was coming back, and he thought the style was the same. Nah, bro. Nah. Hey, so salute to Raphael. Let me throw. I don't know if I did this already, but I'm gonna throw this link out here, in the chat, and Let me ask y'all this. What do you think of Spike Lee's comments about Patrick Ewing? All right, I'll put this out here. So what do y'all think about Spike Lee's comments about Patrick Ewing? Right. I'm telling you, I'm frustrated with Spike Lee, man. I think Spike Lee is legit a media tramp now, right? Like you legit can't turn down the call to be on ESPN. What are you doing? You promoting another movie, Spike? I mean, come on, Spike. We come from, dude. We come from the same era, dog. You send these messages to people, right? These messages. So I've been a fan of Spike Lee since the '80s, right? And I don't know about anything before a certain time. All I know is she's got to have it in School Days, right? That's about the time that I remember hearing Spike Lee's name for the first time, right? And through it all, there was one theme: we love the Knicks, right? We love the Knicks, right? That was the thing. They're coming from Spike Lee, like, yeah, man, he's from a certain place in New York. I'm from a certain place in New Jersey. And the one thing we had in common was when the Knicks game came on, everything else stopped. You got to go out there and watch the Knicks play. Right? Yeah, hey, Ismail Rivas. Salute to Sima Singh. Sima Singh is in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? Hey, man, man, so Chop, what I'm saying is let me put Chop's thing back up. What I'm saying, man, is this about Spike Lee, right? All right, so say Chop Low does me wrong, right? Say Chop Low does me wrong. I'm gonna be like, yo, Chop, man, you played me, dog. And Chop will be like, yo, man, hey, it was accidental. It won't happen again. And I'm like, yeah, I know, man. But that's outside of both our character. We don't normally act like that. What's good, right? But the thing with that is once Chop talks to me and I speak to Chop, I ain't holding no grudge against Chop, man. I'm like, yo, Chop, I love you, dog. You my man, right? But I'm not gonna then say that and then every time I see a microphone, be like, yo, Chop Low did me dirty. Man, come on, man. That's that. I don't want to say the word for it, but it's to me, man. It's like, no, you don't do that, man. It's men, and so for those that don't know, man. So I love Chop Low like my brother, right? Chop Low texts me about 3 or 4 times every day, and I look forward to it, and I love seeing it when Chop Low send me a text message. I'm like, hold on, y'all, this Chop. I'm talking about every day, not just occasionally or once in a while. Chop Low texts me every day, and when I get it, I'll be glad to see those text messages. I'll be like, yo, my man Chop is doing good, because I'll be wondering, out here in this world, it's a crazy time.
Good point.
Right, and so when I see text messages from Chop, I'll be like, yo, that's my man's right there.
Not
right,
me.
but what I was gonna say, just real quick, Raphael, is yo, I look Chop in the eye and be like, Chop, I didn't agree with that. Chop be like, I didn't agree with it either. Yo, let's move on from it. I'll be like, word, I got you, Chop. I'm not gonna say that, and then the first time I see a microphone, run to it and be like, yo, Chop Low did me dirty. Nah, man, come on.
Some who struggle to communicate. Like if I have a disagreement, I mean, me, I'm ready to. I'm gonna get in the foxhole, start arguing. That's what I do. I get ready to argue, but I'm the opposite. Me, I tune out my phone and I tune in here more often.
Right. Right, man. It's Raphael, look, your man, look, your people's here. 19 comment NYC 84. What's good? What's good? This is like a family. This is like a family reunion right here. I'm bringing two people together.
I think that I mean I think I know everybody. Shout out to Ismail Rivas. So I know everybody. I mean I just started getting to know 19 comment NYC. Shout out to him. But I'm a big fan of the chat. I like that they disagree with me too. Right? That's important because if not, I'll be bored to death. So I like the agreements. I like when they call me out. I think all that's important. And I like when the chat makes their points because sometimes it's not like sometimes I re-listen to myself and I catch myself not making the most points. So it's important to have the chat family out talking to us.
Right.
So yeah, man. So it wouldn't be that much fun if they weren't here telling us, telling me. I like when they talk. I like when they tell me, "Yo, listen, man, you bugging." Like the other day, you're bugging about free agency, this, that, and the third. I'm like, listen, man, tell me which one is the better pick. Which one is the cheapest route to trade a first round pick for Terrence Ross, first round pick for Will Barton, sign Bojan, or sign Gordon Hayward? Which one is a safer pick? What would you do in that situation if we were back in the off season? What would you do? Because
first of all, what I would do is pick a direction and go, because there's nothing like somebody that's clueless with the direction. And what I mean by pick a direction and go is, are we going to legit try to win every game and build towards a championship right now, or are we building for the future? Tell me. Right? And whatever direction we decide to go, we're going to go in that direction full speed.
If it was up to you, what would you go on? What you going with? What are you going with?
I'm saying this, Raphael, and you already know this from me. But I assume that you're saying it so the chat will know. Right? Mm-hmm. Because I've been saying the same thing since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Every day that you wake up, your main goal should be win.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There is no substitute. There is no substitute for winning and what winning brings to a culture.
Right.
And
we're building on top of that. So we're winning. We got to win, and we're building. So what small forward from last off season makes the most sense without spending multiple draft picks? What I need to hear your opinion. I need a player. I need to hear what player you're going to sign, because you see it now. We saw it in last offseason. I mean, we saw it in last season with Fizdale and Mike Miller. We're seeing it now. We had an off season, and now we're talking about one first round pick and a player and Burks for Terrence Ross, or Burks and a first rounder for Will Barton, and we had the chance to sign Bojan, and we had the chance to sign Gordon Hayward. What are you gonna we need a small forward. What player are you gonna sign? If you
hold on, let me do. So you're asking me what roster move would you have done this past offseason to what? Improve the roster?
To improve the small forward position, or unless you're fine with Reggie Bullock, because I'm asking you because it's every morning drive where we're like, Reggie Bullock is just terrible. He's too inconsistent. So what are you doing? Like, I want to hear a solution finally to that situation. Like, it's good to criticize the situation. It's good to recognize it and say, you know what, this is not good enough. Well, that's not saying anything special, because we knew that's this last season too. So we had an off season. I mean, I know you did like Kelly Oubre in October. So shout out to you, giving credit. When we had a chance, and when we learned that Kelly Oubre was available
when he was in Phoenix, when he was in Phoenix, you
was big on Kelly Oubre. So I got to give you credit on that.
So first of all, let me start by saying this. The first thing you need to do, and when you ask me that question, is determine what type of roster would I like to have play for us, right? What type roster do I feel like best puts us in position to win every night, right? And then going forward, we can build that chemistry and prevent roster turnover, right? So you asked me this back in October. You did. And here's my answer in October. And this is me rewinding it back. So back to October. My preference is a floor general at point guard, three and D wing defenders, and a rim running, rim protecting center that can shoot. That's what I told you back in October. You know why? You know how I can remember?
Right.
Because I meant it. Right. And so I brought up names back then. I brought up names like Kelly Oubre Jr., Jay Crowder to play with RJ Barrett, right? Also said, how about
maybe Jay Crowder would be a good fit right now. Maybe we should look to make a trade for him.
Right now they ain't gonna trade him because he holding it down in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? They moved him to the bench and he got even better. He got even more productive. They sent him to the bench to start Frank Kaminsky. Right. And they've gotten even better offensively with Chris Paul. Right.
He could start for us.
Well. So the thing is you asked me, right? So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna answer your question first. Right. So what I would do is this, right? Based on what I said, right? My first and my immediate thing is get Chris Paul. Period.
Right.
And then based on what I heard, or basically what I saw that the Thunder got for Chris Paul, nothing.
Right.
They didn't give diddly poo for Chris Paul. Some dude named a Kelly Oubre, a Abdel Nader, some weird pick.
Ricky Rubio. They got Ricky. It was Ricky Rubio, Kelly Oubre, and a first for Chris Paul. And then they shipped Kelly Oubre immediately.
And Abdel Nader. Don't forget Abdel Nader.
Oh, I didn't forget that.
Yeah. So it was So basically nothing. Basically nothing.
Right.
The main thing was the draft pick. Basically, they got a first. They got a first and a second. The Knicks had a first and a second. They could have gave Phoenix for, and the first and second that we had is probably more valuable than the ones that Oklahoma City gave up.
So you would have given up a first and a second for Kelly Oubre?
No, I'm giving up. No, I'm giving up that from Kelly Oubre.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
No.
So what he's
what I'm saying is I like the idea of having and mind you, this is before we knew what Julius Randle was going to be, right? Because Julius Randle is not a 3-and-D wing, right? Right. So here's the thing. Back then we talked about Julius Randle, and you and I. You remember when we used to have 10 people in a live stream when we were just doing StreamYard?
It could go.
Yeah, and we would go to like 4:30 in the morning. You remember that? We started at like 11 o'clock and legit go all the way to like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. Teddy Flat, remember Teddy? Yeah. And everybody? And so I was like, yo, get Chris Paul, get Oubre, get Jay Crowder to go with RJ Barrett. You know what I'm saying? Get you a wing player in the draft, whether it's Devin Vassell or Aaron Nesmith, right? I was more so on Nesmith than Vassell because at the time we felt like the Knicks needed more 3-point shooting. We had no idea that RJ Barrett was going to legit turn into a sniper from 3, right? We had no idea. We had no idea. So, and for those that said they saw for those that said they saw Randall becoming who he is right now, only one person I know said that. And only one person I know even co-signed them and was like, yo, shut up and let Raphael talk. Yo, be quiet. Let Raphael talk. That was me. Right.
Right. Because he is the engine. I read a report from Clutch Points that he is the engine of this team. And I feel like he may not be Draymond Green, but he's our version of Draymond Green, so to speak. Sometimes I gotta word those words properly. So, but I want to keep listening because I want to know who are you going to sign? I mean, I get it. Chris Paul said no. I get it. Chris Paul said no to New York. You know, but that's a reality that I have to face. Okay,
Right.
what about the small forward position? What if Chris Paul says no? Where are you going next?
At the small forward position,
Yeah.
you get your small forward in the draft. We could have easily have taken Devin Vassell.
Okay, but right now we have Kevin Knox. That's the reality.
Right.
We have Reggie Bullock. Are you okay with us keeping the small forward situation as is?
Wait. So you're talking about two different time frames. You asked me about October. You told me about the preseason, and then now you're asking me about right now. Which one you want me to address?
Well, I mean, if you could go back, if you could go back to the offseason, what small forward would you sign or trade for?
Right, I just mentioned them: Kelly Oubre and Jay Crowder.
It's Kelly Oubre, Jay Crowder. Okay,
Those are the two that I wanted to get. Now, right now, who I would get? Let me. Hey, Chuck Allen, man. Hey, the reason why I put you down, I didn't know if you were having tech issues or what. Is that Chuck Allen right there? Let me see who this says. Oh, wow! Look who's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, I know I took break longer than I was supposed to.
Hey man, I saw you the other day. I was like, I hope all is well with GI because he didn't look like his energetic self. I was legit nervous. I was like, yo,
I had a long day. Then I had to rush to the computer. Yeah, so I was a little tired, but I tried to give it what I could.
Yeah. Hey, so did you get a chance to see the video?
It's dope, bro.
It's dope. I'm telling you, man.
Dope,
it's dope, right? It's dope. So I made some miscues, man. So it looks as if I was looking away from the camera, like I was looking down, but I was actually reading a script. So it looked like
I knew that.
Right. And so it wasn't, Uncle Freezy love the camera now. I ain't just gonna turn over. I ain't gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Not me. Yeah. I'm a ham when it comes to this camera now. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
I knew you had it scripted so it could go perfect time and everything. First off, shout out to Ralph. I got to be honest, Uncle Freezy, I love you, but I hadn't spent no time with Ralph in a minute. I had to hit that link, and I hear him, So what up, Ralph? And Chuck Allen, what it do, Chuck Allen? Salute. So
salute, GI.
But go ahead.
Hello? Okay, you muted yourself. Okay, cool. Freezy, you was talking, Freezy.
Yeah, yo, Chuck. Hey, Chuck Allen, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, Chuck. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we straight. Okay. So the thing is to answer the question, to answer both questions, right? Which sound similar, but they're not. So one is what small forward would you have gotten back then, and what small forwards do you think we can acquire right now, right? So the small forwards I would have looked to have gotten back then, and I would have tried my hardest to get all three, right? Hear me out. Hear me clearly on it. All three. I would have got Jay Crowder, who is not a Knicks favorite right now because of the move he pulled with Elfrid Payton.
Oh, that's what would never happen.
Right.
That's what that would never happen.
Right. Well. Yeah, man. Look, I would easily get rid of Mook Morris and Elfrid Payton to get Jay Crowder for one, right? And the other one is Kelly Oubre, because I feel like a combination of dogs. When you put a dog like RJ Barrett next to a dog like Kelly Oubre, you get a certain type thing, and you get a certain romp in your step when you get two guys that are going to sell out on every play offensively and defensively.
I don't disagree totally, but it's possible.
Raphael, you gotta let me finish.
No. But the Jay Crowder, I say something real quick about the Jay Crowder. I just think like if you bring in Jay Crowder after that whole incident, that the young cats like RJ, that could leave a bad impression of RJ Barrett, the young cats seeing somebody disrespect the Knicks, and then you get rid of Elfrid Payton, Marcus Morris, and you bring in Jay Crowder. I don't know if that could play a role into, you know what, it might be a bad sign.
It depends on perception,
right?
Because for one, the Knicks were getting the brakes beat off them on national TV, and they quit in that game. They gave up. And they were lifeless.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the inbounds pass, they throw a lazy inbounds pass, and a dude with a dog mentality steals the pass, and was like, "Yo, come on, let's play. What are y'all doing?" You know what I'm saying? And so he get ready to jack up a three because the same dudes that you saying, the same dudes you trying to protect right now, Raphael, didn't even go out there to defend him
Mm-hmm.
until they saw that he was getting ready to shoot. And once he got ready to shoot, Alfred Payton knocked him out of the air. You don't even do that to a mule. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that when the athlete is in the air. You don't undercut them. And while I understand the anger and the frustration, I'm like, where was this anger and frustration in the third quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yo, show some fight. Right? So anyway, what I'm saying is a cat that's gonna play to the whistle, a cat that's gonna fight. I need that on my team.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Even if his shot's not going, you know when we play the LeBron James, the Giannis's, Jay Crowder is gonna give them dudes the business defensively. They're gonna be so mad at Jay Crowder during the game that it may take them out of the offensive flow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of dude we need. Right now, we don't have a dude that's 6'6", 240 on our roster that can defend wings. Who is it? Who on your roster is 6'6", 240 that can defend wings?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Reggie Bullock? Reggie Bullock ain't 240. Who is it? Alec Burks? Alec Burks ain't 240. Is it RJ Barrett? RJ Barrett ain't 240. Is it Kevin Knox? Kevin Knox ain't 240, and he damn sure ain't defending nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is there is to me, in my opinion, there's a misconception on what we want as Knicks fans. Like we want the dog, but we don't want the things that come along with having the dog.
Oh, well,
and you can't have it separate. You can't have it separate, right? So you bring in your Kelly Oubre, your Jake Crowder, your RJ Barrett, and this is back then now, right? You bring in those dudes, and I think you get a different mental makeup defensively than you do as opposed to having Reggie Bullock be your primary wing defender.
Right. Well said, man. I couldn't agree. That's two good players. So, what small forward would you look to in the trade deadline? What small forward do you want? Do you have any options that you could? Because I haven't heard your opinion about a small forward. I mean, I heard now the past, but now I want to hear about the trade deadline. If we can get us, I mean, I know. Shout out to nothing but Knicks and Samuel Russell, and he wants Terrence Ross. Who made that point? Who was here that made that point? Oh, Cornerstone Kev. So shout out to Cornerstone Kev for letting. So I like Will Barton. I haven't. Do you want a small forward right now?
Yes.
Who are you looking for? Is there one that we need to get? Because we want to quiet down. Is he available?
I don't think Golden State going to keep him. He's on a 1-year deal, right? And his deal is up at the end of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's young. He's a wing.
Right.
He could put the ball in the basket, because that's another thing that we need outside of defense is someone who can consistently put the ball in the hole. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily have that. Burks is not consistent. Bullock is not consistent. And you shouldn't have to rely on the young guy, RJ, like that. Because I think he still needs some time to get where he really needs to be, even though he's averaging 20 points. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. So here's a name. Here's a name that I mentioned before. Glenn Robinson III. Right. So defensively, he's going to give you good defense. He's an athlete that can shoot. Right. Is he a full-time starter? No. But you don't want a full-time starter in this scenario, right? What you want to do is get icing for your cake. Right? Mm-hmm. Right. You don't want to put sauce on your steak, because if your steak has enough sizzle, it don't need sauce. Right? But in this scenario, where we're just talking about complementary parts, I say we legit should go after a cat like Glenn Robinson III, right? Or where's the other name I saw? There's another name I saw that I feel like we could attain easily. There's another name I saw. Hold on for a second. Evan Turner. In Evan Turner type cat with that he's a free agent right now, and he'll be a supplementary piece, like somebody that accentuates what you already have, or a CJ Miles, somebody that Tom Thibodeau already knows, has played in Tom Thibodeau's system, somebody that's going to defend all the big wings and shoot the three. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, or take a chance on a young cat like a Jarrett Culver, who should be cheap.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? You can get you a Trevor Ariza from Oklahoma City probably for nothing. You might be able to do Trevor Ariza for Theo Pinson.
Trevor Ariza is may not be a bad pick. I mean, with Reggie Bullock, I mean, I feel like we need somebody who can be a little bit just more consistent. Somebody who's like, Jay Crowder was a great name because he can come off the bench and can produce and play good defense.
Right. Hey, so thanks, White Falcon, for the super chat. What White Falcon says, put Randall at small forward. No. No. Randall is 250 pounds. You don't want to run the risk of playing Randall at the small forward, right? And Randall is one of the best power forwards in the league. Why would you change his position?
He's playing good defense. I don't know if he can defend. I read a comment that Tom Thibodeau said Julius Randle is the type of player that other teams have to game for, and we saw that with the Bucks game, and that's a great.
It's been all season, Rav.
Yeah,
He's been getting double and triple teams since. That's why the coaches had to make him an all-star. He's getting double and triple teams since the second game of the season.
And you have the game plan, so it's good to hear. It's good to hear that confirmation from the coach. Well,
you got that confirmation when the other coaches put him in the playoff in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
that was your confirmation right there.
Well said.
Right.
Quick question: What about Jeremy Grant? Because I heard he's available.
They ain't making him available.
Nah, they saying they're taking calls on Jeremy Grant. Detroit is taking calls.
How much do you think it's going to cost? 1 first-round pick or 2?
2, and a player. There's going to be 2 and a player.
He got a big salary. I don't think they're looking for a dunk.
That's how much he's getting, 20 or 25?
20, I believe.
All right, so let me see for sure. So Jeremy,
check that out.
2021 salary.
Here's the problem.
19.05 million is what he gets.
That's not so he's getting Julius Randle money.
Yep.
I'm gonna grab a water. I'll be right back.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
The wing is the most valuable position in the league.
Right.
Hands down.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not available. They're just not hanging out like, all right, we dangling this guy. That's the hard part. That's why you're having a hard time coming up with names. And guards really are a dime a dozen. You just got to get the right one to fit with your team, and that plays right with the guys you got.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why all these guards are becoming available, and wings aren't. Wing is just a position, just the most important position in the league, especially for teams to win a championship. You're not winning no championship without some decent wings. Not happening.
Well said. Gia, what small forward did you want to? If you could get a small forward, who you looking at?
It would probably be in the off season, and I'm hoping Clay comes back healthy. If Clay comes back healthy, then Kelly Oubre is going to be made available. I wouldn't mind seeing Kelly on this team, but they're not giving him up during the season. They're not doing that.
Good point. What about you, Chuck? You said Jeremy Grant.
Only because I read something that Detroit was taking offers. They were listening. I think he would. We'll definitely make a playoff push with that guy on the roster going forward this season. I don't think 19 million. I don't think 19 million's bad for a guy like that. You know
No,
what
No,
I mean?
I don't.
that wouldn't scare us off at all. I just think Detroit's got to have some cachet too, and they don't have no other wing. Sadiq Bey is their next best wing after Jeremy Grant. I just can't see them giving up there. Now, if you're gonna break the house to get them, then I'm sure that's why they're saying they're listening and making them available. Every GM should be listening, but
Mhm.
every GM shouldn't be out there like this one is available. Here's the real kicker. Kyle Lowry is going to be made available because they know we're not going to resign him next year. As much as we would love to have this playoff push, we'd be stupid to let a guy this caliber leave for nothing. They're going to make him available. I don't see Detroit just saying, all right, we're going to make him available. That means you really want to do the deal. Listening means I'll do the deal if you blow me away, in my opinion.
Good point.
It's hard to agree with that. Gi. Um, if not Jeremy Grant or Kelly Oubre, I really don't know, man. Because who would be available? If that said person was made available via trade, what would it cost us? Is this person going to fit our timeline? Is it a long-term piece? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if we can get that position solidified, all the other stuff will fall in place. Like you were saying, you could get the right guard to get to be in your system. Because think about it, Raymond Felton had looked amazing in D'Antoni's system. We were
Right.
upset that we gave away him. We were talking about him like he's going to be a Hall of Famer. We gave him away and such in the Melo trade. I'm like,
Right. Really?
But
he,
that's because we couldn't trust him. He wouldn't come to camp in shape, so he used the first 25 games to get in shape.
Yeah.
And that's too
Yeah.
many games. That's too long. 25 games. Then he balling out the second half of the season. But we fighting for fifth or sixth place when if he'd have came in camp in shape and any other that side stuff going on with his personal life didn't help either at that time.
Right.
You
The
know,
gun
Raymond
charge
Felton,
and all that
man.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Raymond Felton was just a guy you couldn't trust. You just couldn't trust him.
Right.
right.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I feel you. I feel what y'all saying.
Did you speaking of Jeremy Grant and Detroit? Did you guys see the trade from OKC to Detroit, where Detroit landed Hamidou Diallo?
Yeah, I saw it.
What do you? I mean, maybe not this season, but would you guys be interested in trading for him? Maybe in the off season?
Diallo.
Yeah.
I wanted
Man,
Diallo.
they got that. Man, how did we not get in on that trade?
I don't know.
So and shout out to those when you hear the name Hamadou Diallo, and if you're from the tri-state area, you know what that name means.
Yeah,
It
man.
means to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. So
So
Yeah, man.
yeah, so shout out to Hamadou Diallo. You know, the original. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
so just want to say something real quick. So Spree and Z will be on in 30 minutes, and Nothing But Knicks will be on in about 30 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is in order to show them do some love, I'm gonna wrap up a little bit before that, and then you know what I'm saying, jump on with them and show them some love, to help Spree and Z with a joint and to show some love to my man Sam Russell at Nothing But Knicks. But yo, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Give us suggestions, man.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is we want to make sure that we grow this thing so that we can get it in front of more people and spread the love like we're supposed to be spread. Right. So Raphael, so based off of what you're asking me, based on what you're asking me, I want to say this. I don't believe we need to overhaul the roster in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I agree.
What I do is say add complementary pieces.
Role
Right.
players.
Right. To give your guys a break. Right. To get RJ's minutes down to about 30 minutes per game before the playoffs. To get Julius Randle's minutes to about 30 minutes a game before the All-Star break. And then that way, I'm sorry, before the playoffs. And then that way, when the playoffs get here, we'll have a fresh Randle, a fresh RJ, and a bunch of goons coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm. I like. Now that I think about it, I really like that Diallo player, man. I think we should have gone after him. That would have been. That could have been clutch. We kind of. I think he's been producing too. He's having a pretty good season. So
What does he do to make you think you should spend capital on him?
Hamidou Diallo, he plays good defense, averaging I think almost 15 points. I haven't been watching OKC games. I haven't seen his game in particular, but it seems like he was having a good season in OKC as a role player. We're talking about a role player, right? That's what we were looking for, right? So I think he could be a good. He was started. I think he started or came off the bench, and was worth trading for.
Right. Right.
Diallo is an athlete.
That too. He's a good dunker. He's a great dunker. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I seen him when he was in high school. He went to John Brown High School before he transferred. Like the kid had tremendous athleticism. He was his arms were long. He could play defense, getting in the passing lane. He was great running the floor in transition. Only problem he had shooting. But he didn't have a funky jump shot like MGK.
You're right.
It just small mechanics, and I think he got that right out there in OKC. I'm surprised they got rid of him because he's Shy's guy. Like Shea Gildress, like that. Him, Knox, and William Gabriel were like best friends.
And PJ Washington,
and Jared Vanderbilt. Right. And so I understand where you going with that. I always thought Diallo was raw.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so my ideal situation in that draft was get Mo Bamba and then get Hamidou Diallo. And both of them was from the tri-state area. Right. I mean, not that draft because Mo Bamba was in a different draft. I'm sorry. Who was it that we wanted? Was Diallo wasn't in the Frank draft, right?
Yes.
No, Diallo was in the Kevin Knox draft.
Kevin Knox
draft. So so I want to get some weird combination of Diallo, and because I felt like at the time the Knicks needed to get athletes, and Hamidou Diallo reminded me of a young Latrell Sprewell at Alabama. When I watched Diallo, he looked to me like Sprewell in the Alabama years. You know what I'm saying? So.
Freezy, I think you said it right there, but I think I would have looked at Hamidou Diallo. We struck out, we messed that up, but I like Jared Vanderbilt too. I wanted him. I wanted the Knicks to draft him too.
Right.
I wanted SGA, Hamidou Diallo, or Jared Vanderbilt. Whatever out of the three, take 2 out of 3. I'm happy. But the Knicks didn't draft any of them. They picked up. I'm sorry, they picked up Kevin Knox. So I'm like, man, I hope we still can get one of those. I mean, I'm happy with Mitch, but as a role player, right? I think Jared Vanderbilt. I mean, Julius Randle scored on him when we played Minnesota and all.
Right.
But I hope, bro, he'll be a. I wouldn't mind having him as a role player, Jared Vanderbilt.
But Vanderbilt went undrafted. The Knicks could have signed him.
And Hamidou.
No, he went drafted. No, he went drafted. Somebody drafted him.
No. Hamidou second.
Denver. I think Denver.
No, Denver signed him as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
No way.
Yes,
yeah.
They did.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I wanted the Knicks to get him.
Because legit, out of all the cats that you just mentioned, the dude with the most physical talent is Jared Vanderbilt. Even though Diallo was a better athlete, Jared Vanderbilt to be a guy 6'9", had a lot of physical ability.
Yes, and Calipari was talking good of
Right.
well, John Calipari told me don't always trust John Calipari. He's a salesman, so I'm like, oh, but he pitched me that sale that of going after. No, Jared Vanderbilt was drafted 41.
Oh, okay, okay.
He was
Mama,
drafted 41. I'm gonna show you who drafted him. Denver
okay,
drafted him.
okay. My mistake then.
But I think he was benched because he had an injury for the whole season. He had
Yeah.
an ankle injury, so he never played the first season.
He was actually injury prone at Kentucky.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was injury prone at Kentucky. So
Mm-hmm.
so it's one of those things where
I would trade for him. I would give a that's a good second round pick for a player like that. I would take a chance if Kenny Payne is confident on him and tells me, hey, listen, I think he could be a good role player for us. I'll do that. I don't mind having a because we're talking defense. I don't know about his offense though, man. That's an offense problem. You got to shoot the ball too. But if we're talking about either Mo Bamba or Jared Vanderbilt, I'll do Jared Vanderbilt.
would you consider Derek Jones and Gerald Green?
Yeah, I like that. I like Derek Jones Jr. from Portland. Yeah.
Yeah. That would to me, I think that would be the move. Like legit give Portland what they need. Give Portland Kevin Knox and Austin Rivers,
But
and maybe some type of thing for Derek Jones Jr.
But he has 1 year. This is the same thing as Kelly Oubre. He's at the end of he signed a 1 year deal.
So what?
But I mean, hopefully he resigns, right? Yeah.
No, or maybe he'll walk. But what we don't want to do is go get a guy and then think he's a part of the puzzle, and then we're locked into a contract with a guy that we don't necessarily know what we have long term. We already have enough of those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can legit go get Derek Jones. If he walk at the end of the season, goodbye. If we can re-sign him, hey, glad to have you. But it's not we don't put ourselves in a situation where we box ourselves in, right?
Right.
But you know what you're going to get from Derek Jones.
So
you're going to get a superb athlete and a defender.
Are you talking about trading for Derek Jones Jr. or signing him in the offseason?
No, trading for him.
So what are you going to trade for him?
I just said it, Kevin Knox and Austin Rivers.
Oh, Kevin Knox and Austin. I didn't hear that part. I was on the okay, cool. Kevin Knox, Austin Rivers. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Portland gets veteran depth in their backcourt. You know what I'm saying? And they get a shooter in Kevin Knox. What's Portland lacking right now from their wing players and front court guys? Shooting. He gives Kevin Knox the opportunity to unlock himself.
And he's around Carmelo Anthony.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, I like that. I like that point you made about Tyrese Halliburton. I think that was a good analysis when you said the reason he's succeeding or part of his success is that we have a 3-point specialist like Buddy Hield who's breaking records, and you also have a star in De'Aaron Fox, and that he's in a good situation. He's around two good guards that, you know, when he's only going to get better. He's only going to flourish with those. So he's in the right situation. So maybe Kevin Knox in Portland might be a good with a Carmelo Anthony who can shoot the ball still. And
I'm more concerned. I don't care if Kevin Knox goes to Portland. Guess what? He's one of them now. What I would be concerned with is it if Derek Jones makes an impact when he gets to us.
Right. But for the Knox, well, I'm talking about the Knoxers. You know, the Knoxers will follow him everywhere he goes. Just like Frank Ntilikina, if he signs somewhere else, you know, they'll continue to say, "Oh man, this, that, and the third."
Hey, so Keyshawn made a good point, and I was going to bring him up too. Daniel House, right? Daniel House will be another good pickup, like somebody that's a supplementary piece.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily somebody you have to pay a lot for.
What
But
about Houston? Speaking of, why don't just talk about the whole Houston because they're having a fire sale, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, but you know, and no disrespect to Houston, but I don't care about the fire sale. I just care about what we can get,
Right.
right?
But what
So,
about
so
Tucker? What I meant to by that is PJ Tucker.
what position would Tucker play when he get here?
Can he play? Can he play small forward?
No, no,
Well,
PJ,
Tucker's
no.
like he's like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, because when
yeah,
they had Robert Covington, it kind of threw me off. I didn't know who was. Okay, so he's a 4 or 5. Okay.
yeah. And Rocco would be the ideal fit.
Okay.
Rocco would be if we could pull off. And I know they're not going to trade Robert Covington.
Yes, them. Oh, that's Portland. That's not
Portland,
Houston. Oh, yeah.
yeah. Portland traded first round picks for Covington. They
Right.
traded 2 first round picks to get Robert Covington, and they would probably want that back plus something for Robert Covington.
So
So,
Tibbs knows him. Tibbs knows Robert Covington. He's
right,
familiar with him.
right, and so what I would say to that is this. Um, what I would say is go after your Daniel House, your Derek Jones Jr. Try to get both of them. What's the harm? What's the harm, right? Go get. And I would even see if I could get a Mohawkless reunion. You remember Mohawkless from last year?
He
He
was a
was
good
a
defender.
he was a disaster last year here with us because we
Right.
needed scoring and he's not a scorer. And he needed good coaching and we didn't have good coaching.
Oh.
But this year it's a different year. The setting is different, right? So I think you see him come here and thrive. But all he has to do is come in and play Tibbs defense. What?
Right. But the thing is that you need a shooting touch like Robert Covington, who's a good defender, and he just knocks down like 1 or 2 threes, and that's it.
And
But
what makes him important is the threat of the 3-point shot.
yeah.
Like not the fact that he can make contested threes, but his man has to stick to him in the corner, which creates driving lanes and passing lanes for others.
Great point. Because he'll finish the game with 9 points, but it's all threes.
Yeah, yeah.
So and he's giving you a lot of defense. Steals, he gets you steals for days, blocks for days. You're like, man, rebounds,
Deflections,
yes.
and
Maybe,
he's an athlete.
and he's an athlete.
What about Dougie McBuckets?
How much would you have to pay for him?
I don't know. I would.
That's interesting. I'm thinking about what you just said. So let me see something here.
I brought his name up for all of the things that you just said concerning Mo Harkless. Him being here, not being able, not known as a scorer, but could play defense, but needed good coaching, and we didn't have those things at the time. And we have these things. We have the good coaching. We need someone to play D and make shots, and Dougie can do those things. I don't know. Well, what did we trade him to Indy for?
Carmelo Anthony. I mean, no, not Carmelo. We didn't trade him to. We got. We traded. I don't know how he got to Indy. He signed him.
Nah, Doug was with us for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. He was here, but we got him in the Carmelo Anthony trade. Remember?
Okay.
We got him and Enes Kanter together.
Yes.
So what about Josh Richardson?
What's the cost? I mean, look, the Mavs are still a playoff team. I'm not giving up Josh Richardson if I'm the Mavs. They gave up Seth Curry, who's having a great season with the 76ers too. So they're gonna want another shooter. I mean, it's like what GI says. Wing players are very hard to find, and we're gonna spend a lot of money to get rid of to find a good small forward. You know who's for the cheap that could work for us? I mean, I don't know if he's a good fit, but maybe Terrence Ferguson. He's at the 76ers now. Maybe we're gonna take a flyer on him. I like Jared Vanderbilt. I think that's the guy well, he was good at Julius Randle, so I don't think he's a small forward.
So here's the person.
Nah, he's a power forward.
Here's the name that I would say. Cameron Reddish. Cam Reddish.
What's the cost? Are you sure he's even available? You sure he's available?
Man, Cam Reddish, he should be available. Yeah. Cam Reddish, let me pull up Cam Reddish's numbers. Doesn't mean he's not valuable, right? But let me pull up Cam's numbers.
While you pulling up his numbers, Simmer Singh in the chat said we sound like homeless people digging through other people's trash right now.
Yeah. Hey, Simmer Singh will keep it a buck. Did y'all know Singh means lion?
Right, but that's because we're trying to go to the playoffs, man. We try to win. If we can win a series with one or two role players, that might be the difference.
Yeah, and one man's trash is another man's treasure. We dug through another team's trash and got Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Right now, we try to win. We could win a play, bro. You know how happy if we could. I have to wait until after the trade deadline, but if we can get a player or two that can help us win a playoff series.
James Jen is in the building. Hey, Raphael, how many James Jens do you know? James Jen. That name is that's like Chris Chang. That's like hearing the name Robert Williams. You know what I'm saying? That's like hearing the name Charles Brown. Right? You hear Charles Brown, you're like, dang, man, there's a million of these jokers. They everywhere. You know what I'm saying? James Jen, what's good? What's good?
What's good, man? Let's look at the comments. I'm gonna look at the comments and shout out these guys at the comments.
So I asked you a question.
What was the question?
Cam Reddish.
Yes, Freezy. Every time we say Cam Reddish, I'm all in, Freezy.
Yeah, Cam Reddish solves a lot of that stuff that you just said.
Yeah, because he's good friends with RJ. So you think that want to be a good fit? I think that'd be a great fit.
Hey, so
Kevin Knox swap.
Why not? Why not, man? I mean, because what Kevin Knox can do in Atlanta, bro. If you blitz the screen and roll against Trey Young and leave Kevin Knox wide open in the corner, bro. Listen, man. Listen. It's not even right. It's not even fair. I would do that, by the way. I would do Knox for Cam Reddish. Would you, Raphael?
Man, Kevin W is gonna come here and storm the whole show, man. I'm telling you, man. You keep talking about Kevin Knox, man. It's only a matter of time before Kevin W shows up and starts to remind you how great of a player that Kevin Knox is.
Well, the thing is with Kevin Knox, Kevin W, and other rookies and young players, right? Mm-hmm. The thing about that is sometimes the team that drafts you is not the best fit. Sometimes you need that change of scenery to get unlocked, to unlock your potential. I mean, like with me, like I use myself as an example. I feel like, I'm a handsome fella. I feel like I'm charismatic with the ladies. Or back then I was. Mm-hmm. But when I first started dating, I didn't bet 100% off the rip. You know what I'm saying? There was some swings and misses. Mm-hmm. Like, in my opinion, some girls were fine, but they weren't smart enough. And some girls were fine, smart, but they weren't cool enough. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's like all these different things, and I had to find my way. And then I ran up on Miss Mocha, and I was like, yo, what are you doing for the rest of your life? She's like, why are you doing that? And I was like, well, let's just do it together. And here, and 1,000 years later, here we are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Knox. Knox is like, maybe this thing with the Knicks is not working out. I wanted it to, but maybe it's just not. Maybe I need to change the scenery. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's a bad NBA player. It just means the situation may not have been right.
Maybe we should trade maybe we should trade Kevin Knox. Guys, is it me or is it echoing? Is that me? Is that my microphone?
Oh, hold on. Let me check. Check. It's not you, Raphael. Hold on. Let me check.
I think
Check.
it might be you. It might be something with your mic.
It might be me.
Okay.
Hey, say something real quick.
Check. Hello. You hear me good?
It's me. It's StreamYard. Hold on. Let me dip out. I'll come right back.
So Chuck,
What's up?
you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Oh man, maybe my headphones. I don't know. But anyway, long story short.
How about now?
Long story short.
Oh, it's still there.
Okay, don't worry. Anyways, long story short, I think we should have gone after Hami. Hami Dudiana should have been our guy. We should have been on that. That kid is not bad too. What's the kid? Svi Mikhailic?
Yeah.
That's not a bad player.
No.
He's a good small forward too, right?
Right.
We should have gone after him too. Like that. That's
He's a shooter. He's a shooter. He's gonna be like Joe Harris at someday.
And that's actually what we need. We actually need somebody like that, somebody that can shoot the ball. So maybe we should have gone after him. We should have not just got not only should we get Derrick Rose, we should have gone after Svi Mikhailic.
So Mama said, "Don't trust you." Said Spike Lee was trolling.
No, that's why I came here. Hold on, I came to the show to talk to you about Spike. But I want to listen to your take, and then I want to go after that.
You don't want to listen to my take about Spike Lee. Just go ahead and say what you want to say, man.
No, Spike Lee, bro. What was my thinking process with that with Spike Lee? It's almost like it's funny. One of the first things, are you gonna do me like you did Oak? Are you gonna do me like you did Oak? That's the first thing. And now he's over here batting for Patrick Ewing. It's almost like he's out there representing for old. It's almost like are you familiar with the union?
Yeah.
So it's almost like he's acting like a union rep, like a players rep, players union rep. Like, hey, listen, man, I'm gonna make sure you guys get treated right, and I'm gonna fight for. And if Donut doesn't treat you right, I'm gonna go to ESPN and I'm gonna make him look bad. It's almost looking like that. So I know it's not pretty, but I don't know how to. I'm not gonna act like he didn't have somewhat of a point. People should know who Patrick Ewing is, to some extent. We should have a little bit. Sometimes I wonder why he doesn't get more respect too. Like there's a lot going on with Patrick Ewing that I'm like. It's almost like I remember he wanted to be a coach for the Knicks. They never even gave him a chance. There was like he gets ignored. I feel he doesn't. I mean, I'm not gonna try to praise him a lot. I don't think I'm not, but he definitely feels like it looks like the Knicks distance themselves from him a lot. From outside looking in, from the little I know, that's the impression I always got. I don't know if you ever got that impression, but sometimes I get that impression like, man, they never considered Patrick Ewing in an interview, and he tried to interview as a coach, and the Knicks always constantly ignored him.
Right.
Well, I think that relationship kind of soured when he got traded. Like Patrick Ewing should have never been traded. He should have retired a Knick. He's synonymous for me with the blue and orange. I wasn't around for the Walt Clyde Frazier and Earl of Pearl and Bernard King. I came a little bit after Bernard King.
Man, why y'all always be trying to make me feel old, man?
Nah, man, I'm not trying to feel old.
Nah, I mean you legit just like throwing Uncle Freezy on the like. I ain't an old man like Uncle Freezy, but
I'm an old dude. I'm 40, B. Like I'm not ashamed of that. Like I'm 40. So I think That relationship was sour. I think they're trying to get Dolan to sell the team, because even with I don't want to call him a scumbag, but Max Kellerman kind of bugs me a little bit. I gave him a pass because he rapped at one point in time, but he says all the time, everything is about James Dolan. Regardless of what's going on with the Knicks, if it's negative, he finds a way to tie it to James Dolan. Patrick Ewing should be allowed to walk anywhere in the Garden with no questions asked, but we all have to remember we're still going through COVID.
Right.
So there are restrictions that even you being the 7-1 Jamaican who held the city down for 2 decades, bro, can't go through that. It's a restricted area.
Right, man. Come on.
So you can't. I don't think it was as black and white as people try to make it. Oh, they wouldn't let Patrick Ewing in. What kind of craziness is this? My guy, I go to my grocery store. At one point in time, my grocery store will only allow 10 people in at a time.
Right.
I've been coming here for 10 years. Y'all know me.
Right.
I've literally walked out of here and told you I'll bring the money back and y'all let me. What you mean I gotta wait out here?
Right.
Right. Protocol.
Speaking of that, like I literally this morning went to the store. Like I've been stuck at home for like 3 or 4 days because it's COVID, and I forgot my mask. I'm like, oh snap! I'm like, I can't wait till this whole mask thing is over, man. I can't wait till life gets better, man.
Right. And so no doubt, man. So what I'm saying is to this, Spike Lee, stop being an ass. Spike Lee.
Yes.
Spike Lee, stop being an ass. You know we're in a difficult time. And it's not difficult for one race of people or rich people or poor people. COVID don't care. And security is important to everybody. Right? Stop, Spike Lee. Spike Lee. Spike Lee, how about this, Spike Lee? How about you do the right thing, Spike Lee? We are not being bamboozled, Spike Lee. How about you do the right thing, Spike Lee? Stop speaking ill every time you get a chance to say something about the Knicks. Stop being the media tramp. Stop being the inside man, Spike Lee. Get on the bus, Spike Lee, with the rest of the Knicks fans. Right? Get on the bus. You don't have to have it, Spike Lee. Do the right thing. Right?
But Freezy, here's my thing with Freezy. It takes two to find out. First of all, the only reason that Spike Lee knows is because Ewing told him what's going on. And then Spike Lee went to ESPN and did what he did. So it's not just Spike Lee alone on this situation. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, this is what I'm trying to tell. Like, I think it's more like, gripes. Like Charles Oakley, like they are maybe our players from the 90s are not happy with how they're being treated, and maybe this whole thing is for them to
get over it.
Well, maybe you could say get over it, but they're gonna say, hey, listen, no organization. Look, we see the Lakers. They win championships. They treat their players right. They treat their players good. The only organization that treats us bad is the New York Knicks. And look, and now you have Patrick Ewing telling Spike Lee everything about the situation, knowing Spike Lee who he is.
Hey, but Raphael, when you left your mask at home, what'd you have to do? Did they let you walk around without your mask on?
Somebody's typing. I can't hear you.
So anyway, I gotta wrap it here, man, because my boys are coming on, and I want to drop in on them and help them get on their way. And at the same time, what I'm gonna ask is for those that are watching here, go over to Spree and Z to check them out. I'll be over there in a few minutes. I'm gonna drop it right here, y'all. But we'll be back on for the Knicks at Night podcast tonight at 11:45. It's all love, everybody. Thanks to everybody for coming through. I'll holler.